So now we really need to have you refine how you would place these cards. And that's just more the QSort. You're kind of rank ordering the ones that are most like you, the ones that are most unlike you, and considering them in relation to each other. And when you lay them out now, we really need you to put them along a continuum.
Okay.
Think about a number line. And this number line is going from -3 to +3. And you'll notice that up on the screen here, David is showing how we actually need everyone to lay out the cards. And it's called a forced sort along the continuum. So we are asking you, and the way the analysis will go, will have everyone forced to choose the topmost 4 that are most like them, and that would be the +3. And then the negative ones most unlike you or your program or institution will be the bottom 4, I'm going to say, along this number line. They'll be at -3. And then we have a number of 6 cards go in the -2 column, 7 cards in the -1 column, 10 cards can go in the neutral column, and so on. And we shouldn't really call it neutral. I mean, it's 0. It's along this continuum, and the continuum goes really from the statements that are most like you, your program, your institution, all the way down to the ones on the left, which are most unlike you.
And that's and that would be a -3.
Yeah, right? -3. So what we're going to ask you to do is sort the cards out on your table, and you've got time to move them around. So if you put in something +4, but later you find one that's really more like you, most like you, then you're going to shuffle things around and move one down and then move another one up. And that's the beauty of having the cards. You can read them and you can shuffle them around and take your time in kind of putting them together. They don't have to be exactly rank ordered. You know, that'd be really hard from one, we got 40 some cards there. But the idea is try to get them over on the side that's most like you, most unlike you, and describing you or your program or your institution. And when you're done, we're going to ask you to put the number of each statement on a chart just to help us record how you did your sort. Okay. And we'll also ask the person that's collecting the data, in this case, we'll pretend it's me, to come by and take a picture of your table, just because once in a while we found when people record the numbers on a chart, sometimes it's hard for us as the data collector to read their numbers, or they forgot a number for some reason, or they put the same number down twice. And this way, if we take a photograph, if we need to, later on, we can go back and just double check how you laid them out.
Okay, so just for clarification, because I'm not seeing the other screen, so I have a 0, +1, +2, +3, and then a negative -1, -2, -3.
That's right. And what we'll have for you is a piece of paper, just the way David was showing, that you can have right next to you, as a reminder.
Yeah. So let's say I'm looking at my pile of most like. That was my. So do I want to go with you said the 4 most like statements? Do I want to start that way, or do I want to go across?
That's a great question, but I think I would just go ahead with the piles that you have. You've got it sorted into 3 piles.
Yeah.
Take that pile of most, where you had most like me pile. You've got a pile there. You've got neutral, and you've got most unlike. Just take the one on the right, most like me, and start to put them down as you read them again. I mean, it's the 3rd time you're reading them.
Yeah.
Do you really think they're one of the top ones that are most like you, or how are you going to put it along? And you put them down and just make a quick commitment to and then later you're going to go back and in a little bit after you get them all down, then just say to yourself, is that really because what we're going to ask you to do after you put all the cards down is write a little explanation of why you have the 4 in the most like me and why you have the 4 in the most unlike me. And that doesn't mean the others aren't important. It's just a way for us to capture quickly some of your thinking behind why those are the most like you and the most unlike you.
Okay. All right. So I've laid down. I'm not sure my screen here is going to capture everything. So I went ahead with the 4 most likely statements and put them down. Now I'm just going to kind of slide them over so I have room. And then the next.
And the next row, you're right. You kind of have to look at that chart to remember, oh, I got 4 in the +3. I've got 6 in the +2. I've got 7 in the +1. Right. And 10 in the 0.
And you have to excuse my things are going to overlap a little bit here, like cards.
Notice how it kind of looks like a normal curve, but upside down.
And then you said 7. So some of them from the neutral may be +1 as I reflect back on them.
Right.
Depending on the size of the piles.
Right. Depending on how many cards. And just because you put in something in the most unlike me when you started, you might change your mind later and say, oh, well, that's really a neutral, or maybe I'm going to switch cards up here. Maybe I misread that the first time around.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my captured sort, I think. And again, I might move some of these things around, but that would be how I do that.